Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Mastermind Creations Maximus Pro, the full combined mode. Yeah, you can see all 5 components are laid out right here. So, to combine them, I'm going to start with the legs and move up because it'll be a little easier that way because, well, these have no support whatsoever. So, let's start with the hardest one. Yeah, so, insert this here. To get him combined, what you want to do here is getting this in here right here. What you want to do is with him, you want to kind of go with the bottom, go bottom up. So you want to start connecting down here and work your way up. And one of the things to do is you want to make sure to bend this a bit right here so you can open this flap up because that's where these bits are going to notch in. So what you want to do here is, okay, so you're going to have to split this a little bit down at the bottom here. Let's split this a bit because this right here is going to go in here. I'm sure we'll, yeah, see there's a little like notch right there's a little hole I think really right here. So what you got to do is get this in here. Yeah, you got to get in here like that. See there's a little hole right here on this side of the tail light, and this has got to fit in there. And these peg holes will go in those little holes right here, the square holes right here on this thing. Yeah, so you got to get that, and this can be a little tricky initially because yeah, getting this to split enough to actually get in there. This is one thing I will say that was done a bit better on oh, there we go. And also these right here, these will kind of notch in right there. And you squeeze that all together right there. Right there, like that. See, that's all solid. And then, that came undone. There we go. That's better. And these right here, you want to bring this up right here. So these bits, make sure those are lined up nicely. And those will go into, right here, you can see little notches right there. And this will go, those will go slide right in. That. This will close up over top. And that is Ignis or Insertus. Ignis is the big one. That's Insertus attached right there. That's Insertus attached. Now as for Navigant, I've found it's actually easier to start from the top and work your way down a bit. So here again, bend the knee a bit so you can open up this slot, and then these right here will slide in there. And again, I have to kind of put pressure behind these so that they don't just move out of the way. So I found, yeah, with him it's easiest to go like this. So yeah, slot that in there, close this over top, make sure it's all the way in. And then down here, this right here will go into, there's a little spot, again, you gotta split this open to see, there's a little, I can see how we'll show you, see, but there's a little hole in there that this peg will go into. Okay, it could be a little tricky, particularly with, yeah, make sure they get that out of the way, yeah. It's not all the way on. There you go, that'll go in there, and then, yeah, what's in the hole, you can go ahead and squeeze that out top over top, like that. These right here, these kind of will go right there into these little notches and stuff right there, like that. This is supposed to kind of notch in, at least it's supposed to notch in. Yeah, these bits are supposed to, there's a little panel right here, there's a little thing right here, these are supposed to kind of notch over the back like here, like that. Kind of goes in right there like that. And with that, you have the leg bits attached. And with those two, you have the leg bits attached now. It's all anything I messed up is, yeah, so I'm gonna have to adjust the camera a bit and continue this. And so attaching Medicus, pretty straightforward. It's the little thing, so you gotta move that little latch thing and then attach this and then close up the latch thing. Just like with their Basaltis. Make sure that goes all the way in, and there you go. Latch that in like that. That's one side, and of course, same thing with this one, just the latch is now on the top instead. Right there, just open that up. Slot that in. Close that up, and there you go. That is Maximus Pro. Yep, that sure is a combiner. Yes, I'm very happy with how he has turned out in the end. Maximus Pro here largely is very good, at least good looking right here. There's definitely a couple little things I definitely want to point out about this guy that are a little bit of a nuisance here and there, but overall, yeah, this guy is pretty great. Overall, just gotta watch out a couple things. Yeah, so yeah, definitely pretty great overall. Yeah, you see, just looking at them all, you know, you got all the combined stuff. You got his, you know, chest piece and everything. He cleans up pretty well. I mean, look at that. This, like, no kibble whatsoever. Like, no extra bits anywhere. And downstairs, of course. Downstairs, you got all that stuff going on, and yeah, the feet and everything. And he kind of wobbles a little bit, but I think it's because of how the feet work. He kind of wobbles a little bit, but nothing too... He doesn't feel like he's going to topple over. At least not unless I, you know, really push it. Yeah, generally he is really good looking. Posability. I'm going to get into posability before I do anything else. Posability head is, you know, you can move left and right. You can look up and down a bit. There's no waggle due to how it moves with the, you know, the inner robot head inside there. Shoulders, you do have full ratcheted rotation on both shoulders. Like that. You do have ratchet outward like that on both shoulders again. You have, of course, a bicep right here. There's the elbow bend right there, and of course you could use the hip as well, a little bit for elbow bend. Get about that much range on this arm. On yeah, this arm you can get that much range, so a little bit more range on this one. Some people complained about the droopiness. Oop, that was me. I pushed it. And some people complain about the drooping on the shoulders. Yeah, if you have the shoulders straight like this, you can see it right there. You have the shoulders straight. There's a bit of droopiness, but I feel like this was designed with these like to sit up one click like that. I feel like that was intentional design. So I don't mind it personally, but that might bother you. And keep closing that because that's supposed to sit like that, but there's nothing holding it in place. Yeah, there's also, well, I almost forgot about this because it's so cool. It actually has it. There's a ratcheted butterfly joint. It only goes this far, but still, the fact there's a ratcheted butterfly joint at all is kind of impressive. But yeah, also, of course, at the hands, you do have some degree of wrist rotation. It's limited just because there's stoppers in there because, you know, it's two halves coming together. And this one just came undone. Yeah, it's two halves coming together, so, what happened here? Yeah, it's two halves coming together, so you only have so much range. Like this range, you know, this one can only go this far, like that.
And of course, also at the hand here, there's also this right here is kind of simulates a, I guess a tilt at the palm. Although it's kind of, well, it's kind of simulates tilts the wrist, although it's more of a tilt at the palm. But yeah, right there. So you know, you can have the hand up like that if you want, and it works exactly the same on this one as well. A thumb, you got the hinge right there, you got a ball joint right there, you got two hinges right there, so got a bit of range right there. The fingers can, you know, have knuckle at the base, a knuckle right there, and yeah, basically 3 knuckles per finger. So one base, one here, like that. And of course, you can see splay. They added splay this time. Hooray! This one can go really far. You can break his finger. And it's pretty much largely the same thing on this side, although the wrist rotation's a little bit different because Yeah, this one could rotate this much, like this way, so because of how they transform. Oop, that was off camera. Yeah, it can rotate this way mostly, not really so much this way, so you got to be mindful of that when you're composing them. It's kind of the... Because I know there was this one combiner that could do it did the same sort of thing with the hands, but actually do the full thing, but the thing when you're transforming, the hand could just go flying out of the socket, so I guess that's the payoff. As for everything else, I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Waist. Freely spinning right there. There's an ab crunch right there. And right here, there's kind of a weird mid ab crunch thing going on too. And it got involved kind of untransforming things a bit, so you have to be mindful of how we're bringing it back together. But there is one there. You just got to be mindful because it's very easy to accidentally untab things in the process like that. Yeah, but yeah, there is an mid ab crunch too, so you can get quite a bit of ab crunching going on. Hips, yeah. Go forward that far on a ratchet. Go back that far before you kind of bang into this thing, which is fine because, you know, real life legs don't go that far out, or far back, I should say. Outward, got a kind of soft ratchet. It kind of stops right here thanks to the tabs right there for the truck mode, and also you kind of get this. You have to kind of get this part out of the way too. A little bit, and yeah, you get pretty much that much outward. There's the thigh swivel right there. You can see that. Bring it further down here. Knee can ratchet more than 90 degrees. That's pretty impressive for a combiner. Down here at the feet, you do have ankle tilt. You got a little bit of forward and back, no side to side. The toe can move a bit, although it kind of doesn't do that its own. Yeah, the biggest thing is, like, I think some people freaked out about this fact. You know, the feet are hollow mostly. It works still. They're holding the weight. I'm not sure if that's going to be a long-term problem, but they currently have been holding the weight, so I'm not too concerned about it for now. But who knows if that's going to change in the future? But for now, they've been holding the weight. I've been having it in combined mode for a while, and I haven't had any real issues. So yeah, that's the posability. Now, for weapons and stuff, there's a weird thing going on. Because, you know, he's got these things these are from Ignis. You know, basically plugging those in and bring those out. And hey, look, there's the big handle right there for each gun, right? Like that. And of course, you can hold those in both hands, no problem. There's a little slot right there below the thumb, and you know, you can hold that. Just gotta make sure to wrap the fingers properly first. And it's actually a lot more secure than the ones on the Saltus. The heck's, oh geez, I just got the thumb in a weird place. I was like, what? Oh. Because of that extra slot there, there's actually a bit more secure than the one on the Saltus, which is nice. I'm quite pleased with that, although, again, I'm a little disappointed with the fact that, you know, Saltus was kind of the test bed for a lot of stuff, and thus suffers the most, in the sense that, like, it's the one with the most, it's got more problems just because it's kind of the early case for them doing this. This hand's not as good when it comes to holding the gun, but it'll hold it. Yeah, so you got those guns, right? You got those guns. They can hold, you know, he's holding them just fine. Now, there's evidence that looks like they were going to do this whole, like, combined rifle gimmick thing. Those came undone. That's a big thing. Is also I complained about that, I think, way back with Medicus, which these come undone really easily. But it seemed like there's like a whole combine the weapons together thing. Like, looks like it was kind of abandoned, like, partway through the project. It looks like, because, like, a lot of these guns, like some of the guns, like, for example, Incertus's guns. Right there, you got, you know, Incertus's guns right there. You can't store this one on the motorcycle anymore. Well, you can. Thing is, like, you know, I was complaining about that. Like, yeah, you can kind of store it on the motorcycle, but it doesn't look good no matter what you do, because you got this, basically this going on. So it looks ridiculous. And these can still store on there, but they can also plug into the rifle, the main combiner rifles themselves. What you do for that is you go ahead and, like, to rotate around like this, and then with the rifle, I'm gonna get it out of the hand real quick. Right here, there's a little notch right here. You can actually, and I'm not sure how you can actually get this in here like this, and they'll actually go in there. That goes in solid. Then you can take, you know, these guns right here, and those go right over those pegs right here like that. And hey, look, now you got a whole combined rifle thing going on, which is pretty neat.
on that. The other thing also, thanks to thanks to this peg and whatnot, you can also, like on this gun, same attachment point, like right here, like that, and make a bigger rifle if you want. That works. Unfortunately, like Navigant's gun, there's nowhere for it to go. You can't even do the same thing you do with Insertus's gun. You kind of have to do the stupid thing I hate, which is, it just kind of chills out loose in there. I hate that. I hate that seems to be the accepted. That seems to be the accepted storage method, is just throw it in and throw it in there and just kind of forget about it. As for Ventus's guns, you can kind of do the same thing with this one in the gun barrel, kind of. I believe it kind of works. Yeah, it doesn't work actually. I thought it would work, but yeah. I think this actually goes, it goes up here weirdly enough. It actually slots in right there just fine, weirdly enough, which is funny. These guns, weirdly enough, these tabs kind of fit in these slots right here, but the problem is they slide back and forth and it's a very loose connection, so they don't really work very well. So unfortunately, the only same thing seems to be attach them to Ventus, which is like, ugh, I don't like how it looks with, you have to like do this, and I don't like that. I don't like how that looks with both of them on the arm. So unfortunately, it seems like unlike Assaultus, gun storage was kind of a forgotten about thing. Like, oh, I guess, it kind of feels very forgotten about. So yeah, it's a little frustrating that it feels like gun storage was kind of forgotten about in general. I'm leaning forward so bad now. Yeah, it just feels like gun storage was just generally forgotten about, because like another, of course, there's the big little hose things that came with Ignis, which I don't really know what to do with these. The sands, like, you got they there's these individual bits, and it feels like this is like remnants of an abandoned like combination gimmick of sorts. I don't know. It feels like very much like abandoned. Like you can do a little bit with them, but really not a whole lot. It's a little frustrating because, like, you can plug them into the top of these, but there's really not much else. I mean, they can separate. There's a separation point right here. It's clearly a peg, and there's also a peg right there. It's like, were they supposed to go like be able to extend longer? And again, there's this little slot right here, which doesn't do anything. As far as I can tell, that works with nothing. So yeah, there's really like not much you can do with them. It's like, I guess you can plug them on top of the guns, but just looks a little weird. I guess it's supposed to somewhat be like the actual but yeah, it just looks so weird. Like, I don't know, I can't imagine that looking good. I don't think that looks good. So I can't imagine. Yeah, these are probably just going to go back in the box as is. It's just, yeah, it feels like the aborted, like they're mostly there pretty much for the base mode for Ignis, and yeah, like anything else was just kind of an aborted attempt at a, aborted attempt at a some sort of weapon combined weapon thing. Yeah, it just feels like, gun storage is kind of like an afterthought, and unlike Assaultus, which had listed like everything stores, which was great. This one doesn't have that same thing going on, so that's a little annoying. I feel like that could have been that. It's like you solved this problem already, so why are you not solving it again? It's like you already solved this problem. Why are you struggling with it now? So that's a little disappointing. But yeah, I think that's my biggest complaint. Just simply gun storage sucks. The gun storage generally just sucks as a whole. So yeah, that's my biggest complaint. But it's just gun storage is poop. You guys can wobble a little bit on the feet. I'm pretty sure that's just simply a case of the feet are kind of small and also hollow. But I'm not too. And on top of that, Medicus has the thing where these little panels right here can very much just pop themselves loose really easily. One more thing about the head, the accessory stuff. This head has alternate face, which, you know, see there is a rawr face. Swap them out is pretty simple. You just, you know, kind of lift the, basically lift the front of the head off. And hey, look, there's a Ignis. And you get your thumbnail or whatever underneath the that mask. And then you could just, you know, plug this one on. Plug this one on and boom, now he's mad about something. And of course, yeah, if you got the if you got one of the first run Ignises, you'd also got this other head, which also came with its own, you know, angry face, which is swapped out. It's not exactly the same as the other faces, but, you know, it swaps out exactly the same, I should say. You know, so I'm not going to show that one off, but, you know, swapping the heads is also pretty straightforward. Again, you just, you know, open up that, and then you just pull the head straight up like that. It's just, yeah, just a little socket thing, and this, you know, again, you just open that up and just plug it in straight down. Plug it straight down, and there you go. Now he's got a different head. And yeah, that's accessory stuff to be mindful of. As for, like, yeah, so I don't know. I think I prefer the more rounded off head. So I think I'll go with that one. But, you know, you can do whichever you want. And that's one last thing, of course, is I showed it off in the Ignis review, but you can also change the look in general. But coming back here, if you want to do the whole collar thing, you can open these up right here. Yeah, open these up, and then untab this thing right here. You want to bring this out, and, you know, fold away these little tabs, and then push this forward right here. You can push this part forward on its own thing, and then when you bring forward, you want to go ahead and bring these little tabs right here down, one on each side. See, there's one on each side, and then you go ahead and yeah, bring this forward, and then bring that, you know, bring it up over top, like bring that up over top, and then what you do here is, yeah, these right here, these tabs, there's little slots right here. You kind of bring it into that slot. It slots in and hooks, essentially. It slots and hooks in. Like, if it actually lines up properly. Slots and hooks in. And then you can see here the same thing. Just, yeah, slots and hooks in, and that will hold in place. You could collapse that back up right here. You collapse that back in there, and you just bring these over, and they'll just go over top of the little siren lights again. And that's the only thing holding them in place now. But hey, now you got the, I guess, the kind of the pop collar look for Defensor, if you want. Maximus Pro, whatever you want to call them. You can do that if you want. I think I'm going to leave the collar down personally, but you got a couple options, you know, particularly if you have a first run. Yeah, again, like I said, this squared off head is only first run, so you have a later issue, one of the reissue of one of the later runs of Ignis, you're only going to get this head. So, yeah. That's how it looks with the pop collar. Yeah, I personally feel I'm just gonna leave the collar part down, because I feel like the back's more secure, like overall, with the collar without that away. So yeah, but you do you know. So there you go on that front. So there's that. Now pull this back a little bit. Now for comparison stuff, right? I guess for comparisons, or I guess here's a comparison. Here's MP49, just to give you an idea there. There's again the line standard. So that. Here's next to MMC's Assaultus. Yep. Now again, Assaultus here has the full upgrade kit on him. So, and they're roughly the same height. Gotta probably get him his legs spread out a bit. There we go. Yeah, they're roughly the same height with the upgrade kit. If you do not have the upgrade kit, he's going to be, Assaultus will be like that much shorter. So like, yeah. So you got that going on. Oh, there's Assaultus. Still like how Assaultus looks, but man, there's definitely a lot of, you can feel like the whole lot of the, this was very much the first attempt beta testing, all that stuff going on. Like, you can feel that on that guy, unfortunately. And particularly since I have a first release, so like, you know, the ratchets are a lot looser. This guy's got real nice tight ratchets, by the way. The only thing I'm a little worried about maybe the ankles. They maybe should have been ratcheted, but there's so little plastic down there. I'm not sure where they could have fit a ratchet in there. I guess I finally also do this. I can compare this to the more popular MP combiner scale now. Here's a DX9's Attila. Let's get an idea there. Yeah, out of frame. He's a bit taller. That's the more popular MP scale for MP combiners. So, yeah, it's a good, what, 2 inches taller overall, I think? Something like that. Yeah, he's about 18 inches. He's about 20, 21 inches, maybe 22. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see he's quite a bit taller. That's the more popular scale for MP combiners. So, yeah, I can finally do that comparison. I got this guy mostly for the individual. I actually got this guy mostly for the individual Stunticons, not the combined mode. But yeah, I can do that for this thing, I guess. So yeah, that is Maximus Pro as a whole. Yeah, no spinny bit here because this guy's just, yeah, I don't like to do that with the big guys because it's just kind of like, oh, there it goes. Flies up, flying off. Yeah, Maximus Pro, overall, I think really nice. Generally really nice overall combiner. He's got a couple of issues. The ankles are a little wobbly sometimes, depending on what pose you put him in. I wish the gun storage was better. It's like, I'm kind of disappointed about the gun storage. I'm like, I don't know why it's so bad. Like, again, it's like they've solved this problem already. Why did they go back? We're gonna go back a little bit. Yeah, generally, yeah. Some people complain about the droopy shoulders. I feel like that might have been an intentional design decision, considering everything. Just kind of click it, basically click it up one notch. The fact that one notch click is perfect to get it to change that tells me that was might have been intentional. But also on top of that, getting the leg robots attached for combined mode is a little bit more of a chore than they were on Assaultus. Because yeah, they're very secure, mind you, yes, but it's definitely a bit of a trial to get them fully attached. But beyond that, yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really good, actually. I think I might have this part on. I'm not sure. See, I've been wondering about that, but I think, yeah, it's supposed to be like that now. I'm coming around to it's supposed to be extended a bit, but yeah. Yeah, overall, I think it's really good. Overall, what was it? Because yeah, each of the limb bots is about $100 each, depending, you know, variants from up to $120 depending where you buy it from. With the big guy being what, 164 was it? Of course, this is before he came out right about tariffs being a piece of crap thing you got to deal with. But all total, this should be somewhere in the neighborhood of what? Somewhere probably in the $600 range all total. I think it's worth it, but of course, you know. That's just me. A lot of people are going to complain it's too small. Some people are going to go, it's not accurate enough because, you know, whatever. It is, the thing is, the nice thing, it is very much the very first MP Defensor to be finished. X-Trans Boss hasn't finished it yet. I think they still haven't released. I don't think their Blades has been released, nor has their Hotspot. But yeah, they're the only other one doing an MP Defensor right now. They have not finished it. So this is the first one on the market. This also means that MMC is done with Defensor, which means they're now freed up to do their Devastator, which I am very much looking forward to. Hopefully I don't have to pay an arm or leg for that one. Hopefully by that point, there's some degree of sanity will reign, and maybe I can get it back for normal retail prices instead of stupid markup prices. But anyway, yeah, it's really good. It might be too short for some people, again, particularly if you have Fans Toys or X-Trans Bots or DX9 combiners. Those are way taller, as you saw. Those are way taller. X-Trans Bots' Defensor will be more in that size. But yeah, if you're all in on the whole the MMC thing, you already got Assaultus. This goes great with Assaultus, considering Defensor is always supposed to be kind of Bruticus's, or Defensor is supposed to always be Bruticus's, like, rival and whatnot. Yeah, it generally holds together pretty well. I'm generally pleased with it. It's just really good. It's just really good. I think leading up all this, it's been... Yeah, my only real worry, honestly, is just the feet at some point, because those are hollow feet, and I'm not sure of how long they'll stand, you know, if they'll ever give out or anything. But yeah, at this point, also they're doing the toy deco releases for this guy. They've started with Medicus and Navigant. They haven't shown anyone else off yet, but they, you know, they're committed to finishing it off. It's going to be different. They've already basically said that the Ignis here, the central guy, will be very much have a lot of different colored parts. Like there's going to be more red down here for to match the toy and everything. So a lot of people are excited for that. So if the cartoon decos aren't doing it for you because you like the toy stuff, check out their toy style. Check out the toy style decos they have out so far. Those might impress you enough. You might want to go in on those. It'll be the same mold, just do new color scheme and some new heads and stuff. So I think this is the normal head. There's the other boxier head, which was a first run only thing, but it's a really good figure. It's really good. I think it's worth it if you're already in on this far and just, you know, finishing up by getting the Ventus. Great, but yeah, it's solid. It's great. It's fun. It's really posable. Like it is doing posability that even the Pants Former guys can't pull off. Most of them anyway. There's only just now Fans Toys kind of came around with their Superion doing crazy stuff, but this is good. I recommend it. I highly recommend it actually. Just watch out for a couple things, and just basically, the feet and the weapon storage are the only parts that really suck about the whole thing, personally. So, not even the feet don't really suck. It's just kind of a little cautious about those. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media. It's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. And so see you next time with another video review.